everybody, and welcome back to this tutorial where we will code our FTP sniff function, which is specified in our main function in the previous tutorial. So let us open our FTP sniffer with the nano ftp sniff.py, and let us see, we specified right here the function to be named FTP sniff, so we need to name it the same. So let us name it def FTP sniff. And in that, we need to specify the packet to be as imported as an argument to this function. Now what we want to do is first of all get from the IP header the destination so we can print to where the packet is going to. So we can print the IP address so that we as an attacker know to which machine can we attack once we sniff the actual username and actual password. So we can select that to be in the variable dest equals packet.getLayer. Now the get layer, we need to get the layer from the IP header and the field destination. So if you want to check it out, you can just open up Scapy, type ls the IP, and you will see the destination field in the IP header. After that, what we want to do is actually use the raw equals packet.printf. So make sure to specify the, oops, I'm missing R right here, so it's printf. And we need to print the raw packet, so we can just do that with the actual, let me just show you, we want to use the raw.load field, which we can specify between the percent signs, so raw.load. You will see in just a second why we are specifying that once we actually get the user and the actual password. Now, in order to get the user and password, we need to use a library called RE, which will allow us to specify the actual way, or not the way, the actual pattern that we need to use in order to get the username and the password from this raw.load field, or basically now stored in the raw variable right here. The pattern I already checked before, and I will show you how it goes so we don't actually waste time on that. But in order for you to understand this, you need to use the findAll function. So what this will do is first of all type ref.findAll, and what this will do is it will take two arguments as an input. One of them will be the actual pattern from what you want to search for, and the other argument will be the variable or the packet from which you want to search for. So we want to actually specify raw as a second argument to this function, since we want to actually get the username from this raw variable right here. And what we want to get as a pattern is first of all open single quotes, and there you can specify open and closed brackets. First of all question mark, let me just find where my question mark is, then I, and outside of the brackets you specify user and space, open and closed brackets once again, and just type dot and then star. So this is a pattern which will allow us to only print the username from this raw field right here. We also want to do the same for the password, which will be the same pattern. So if you go right here, and in our PSWD field, we want to, or not field, this is a variable, so don't confuse these two with any fields from the packets. These are not the fields, these are just variables that we are specifying. We want to actually do the same thing, so re equal dot findAll, which will find all the actual patterns that are specified with this in this packet right here. So we want to do the same thing. In between the double quotes or the single quotes, we will just specify this pattern right here, and make sure to actually change the name right here, since it is not user anymore. We are looking for the actual pass, and also we want to get it from the raw field. So now that we actually specified the pattern in order to get the username and password from the FTP packet, wow, what we want to do is actually print to the screen the IP address from which the packets are coming to, or basically the IP address to which the username and password are being sent to, which is the target server or the server, any server running FTP. We want to print the username and to print the actual password. So let us see. Oops. We will check if user exists, so we can do that with the if user and then the two dots. We want to print, so print, we can do it like this in with a star right here, detected FTP login to, and then we can specify the plus, the string of the destination. Since the destination is our variable that stores the IP address of the server running FTP, we want to print that, and right below that we want to print the actual user. So under the plus we can use something like this. So user account, and then we add, now make sure to add a string from the user from the actual first element from the user. Now you might be asking, why are we specifying the first element? Well, this function right here will return a list from all the elements that are actually included in this pattern. And all we want to do is select the first element in order to get the username. Now most likely this user and PSWD field will only contain one actual element, which will be the username and password, but they will be stored as a list. So this will be a list containing just one element. So even then we need to specify the element to be in the actual brackets. So in the square brackets we need to specify the element that we want to print. So same we need to do for the password, else if PSWD, if we actually find the password, we need to print with the plus password, and we can print plus string and also use the PSWD and square brackets and 0 inside them. So we actually specify the first element from that list. So this should be about it for this program. If we coded everything successfully, all we want to do right now is actually call the main function down here, so we can actually run the program itself. And right now we can actually check to see if this will work. So let us save this, and before we actually do anything else, let us go and open up our Metasploitable, since the Metasploitable actually has the FTP server or FTP software running, and we can test this on that software. We will run this program, then in another terminal what we will do is we will actually try to connect to the FTP over FTP onto the Metasploitable, and we will see if this program will catch the username and password and the IP address to the actual target. So let us see if this will start soon. Let me just close this. Let me open up a second terminal while this is starting. So new window. Let's enlarge this, not like that. We want to enlarge it like this. To the side as well. Same with this program. So we can see everything well enough. Zoom this in, which will actually go over this terminal right now, but doesn't even matter. All we will do right here is we will actually perform the FTP connection. Right here, what we want to do, okay, so this is starting up. We want to run the program. Let me just see if it is an executable. It is not, so we want to make it an executable with chmod ftp sniff.py and run the ftp sniff.py. Now you can see nothing is being printed out except the usage. Okay, so yeah, I forgot about this. We need to specify the usage, so we need to specify -i and then the actual interface on which we want to actually sniff on. So ETH0, you specify -i and you specify ETH0 or any interface that you want to use. Right now our program is running, it is sniffing for the packets and it is waiting in case we actually try to connect to the actual FTP server. So let us first of all see the username and password, so msfadmin and msfadmin. Let us check the IP address of our Metasploitable. It is 192.168.1.4, and let us actually FTP to the Metasploitable, which we can do with the 192.168.1.4. It will ask us for the name. Now I have no idea. I believe it is msfadmin, and msfadmin as a password. We can see login successful, but we can also see in our second terminal that we received detected FTP login to this IP address, user account msfadmin, and password msfadmin. So we successfully sniffed the username and password, so all we have to do is just fix this part right here. We will just strip the /r and /n. So let us do that right away. Nano FTP sniff.py. And all we want to change is actually printing string from the user and then .strip. We want to strip from the character \r. And we want to strip from the character whoops, we open the single quotes, \n. We want to do the same right here, so .strip from the character \r, close the brackets, and do once again .strip from the character \n. Close this, close the brackets, save this right here, run the FTP sniff.py once again. Let us close this so we can check exit. Okay, so we need to specify the interface. I always forget that. The interface ETH0. We let this run and let us try to connect once again. So FTP sniff, msfadmin, enter, and msfadmin. Now for some reason it is still printing out the /r and /n, but it doesn't really matter. We know that those are the characters that come from the Python and not the actual characters from the username and password. What we are the more important thing is that we are able to actually sniff the username and password and to also sniff the IP address from which the login is coming to. Now what you want to do is actually run this with the ARP spoofer while forwarding the packets. Now we coded ARP spoofer before, so you should already be familiar with that, and you will be able to actually sniff the username and passwords from any account on the local network. So for example, if you're in a cafe and someone wants to log into the FTP server somewhere, and you can sniff their username and password easily. So that will be about it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.